The air hung thick and heavy with the scent of damp earth and dying leaves. A perfect October night for telling ghost stories. Or so I thought. I'm usually the skeptic, the one rolling my eyes at tales of the paranormal. But this was different. I was in Salem, Massachusetts, visiting my friend Sarah, who had inherited her grandmother's old house just outside the town. It wasn't just any old house. It came with a history steeped in whispers and shadows. She told me jokingly that she felt different in the new surroundings, and that, maybe, she was ready to believe the old tales. One afternoon, we decided to explore the back of the property. The yard sloped gently towards a small, overgrown clearing, and there, nestled amongst the weeds and tangled vines, was an old stone well. It was ancient, the stones moss-covered and crumbling. Sarah, ever the romantic, pulled a penny from her pocket. "I'm going to make a wish," she said, a playful glint in her eyes. She closed her eyes, whispered something I couldn't hear, and tossed the penny into the well. The silence that followed was unnerving, broken only by the rustling wind through the trees. Then, a sound. A faint, almost imperceptible whisper seemed to rise from the depths of the well. At first, I thought I was imagining it, the atmosphere playing tricks on my mind, but Sarah heard it too. Her eyes widened, and she stepped back, a wave of sudden fear washing over her face. "Did you hear that?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. I nodded, my throat suddenly dry. Sounded like someone whispering. For days afterward, the whispers haunted us. They were always there, just below the threshold of hearing, especially at night. We tried to rationalize it. The wind, the pipes, anything but what we both knew it was. Something else. One night, Sarah confessed she was having nightmares. All of them focused on the well, a ghostly figure rising from its depths. Then, a few nights later, the climax came. I woke up to Sarah screaming from her room. I bolted upright and raced to her side. She was sitting up in bed, bathed in the pale moonlight, eyes wide with terror. "It said my name," she gasped, pointing towards the window. "The well, it knows my name." That was it. We had to do something. The next day, Sarah began researching the history of the house and the well. She discovered that centuries ago, a young woman had been wrongly accused of witchcraft and thrown into the well. Her name? Sarah. The details hit on like a thunderbolt. That was likely who was haunting the house and whispering at night. We decided to hold a small ceremony near the well, a sort of informal spiritual cleansing. We read a passage of forgiveness, acknowledging the woman's pain and injustice. We laid flowers near the well, a small gesture of respect and remembrance. The whispers faded soon after that night. The heavy feeling that had blanketed the house began to lift. The nightly terrors weren't so vivid. Sarah started feeling at peace. We both knew we had given that restless spirit the acknowledgement it had been seeking. To this day, I can't explain it or know if it's reality. I can swear that from that day forward, she was at peace. The lesson here is simple. Sometimes, the things that scare us the most are just cries for help, misunderstood voices yearning for recognition and peace. And sometimes, all it takes is an open mind and a compassionate heart to quiet those haunting whispers.